Firms providing assisted living services have been given a bigger allowance to bring in foreign workers as caregivers compared to ordinary nursing homes. Now, they tell CNA that the latest sandbox lets them hire one foreign worker for every 3 seniors under their care. But the concern is hiring those with the right skills. Rebecca Mateo with more.
Age is just a number for Auntie Lily. At 91 years old, the former teacher still enjoys singing and reading in her free time. She does these now in an assisted living facility that comes with caregivers who tend to her needs, a service she's willing to fork out around $5,700 for from her own savings each month.
When I'm in my room, I do my things, what I like to do. Then when it's time to go downstairs, the staff will take us in exercise, daily exercise every day. So I do what I can, and they also take me for a walk.
Unlike nursing homes, seniors in the landed property can choose not to take part in any rostered activities, and they can even roam about freely in the neighborhood, which may be places familiar to them. Last year, the government started a project that looks at having live-in foreign workers to help take care of seniors staying together in a shared apartment. This alternative care model hopes to put them and their families at ease with round-the-clock support. So far, 5 companies are under the pilot. I found out they can hire one foreign worker for every 3 seniors under their care with no cap. Going by that, it means St. Bernadette will need around 40 workers since it wants to care for 125 seniors by year's end, or triple the current number. But it tells me the issue is getting those with the right skills quickly. Most hires are from Myanmar or the Philippines, and professional courses can be as much as $2,000 or take up to a year. With no regulation on required skills at the moment, the home, which also runs a training center, hopes to set industry standards.
Besides the hardcore medical skills, part of our curriculum actually includes like this training on social care, conflict de-escalation, cultural norms in Singapore, how to actually navigate this senior landscape in Singapore, because these young caregivers come from a different culture.
Another firm, Red Crowns, rents public housing flats and condos to provide its services. It's also hunting for experienced hires like former overseas nurses. Staff also get certification in elder care or patient support. This could prove useful for people like Elvin Gan's mother, who has schizophrenia and lives with 3 others in this flat.
Then daycare didn't really let her have build enough connection with the people staying there to have some long-term friendship. So and then there's no one taking care of her. When I go to work, there's empty. Actually, the house is empty, only her staying in all by herself. Then she get very depressed.
Red Crowns served more than 280 residents across more than 40 homes.
The caregivers who take care of them will have to learn new things, new skills, like maybe wound management or diabetes care, things like that. Then they will go to some of the partners or even our public hospital to train the caregivers in how to take care of the seniors.
Some firms say those with more new skills can get better pay. On average, salaries are about $1,800 a month. Moving forward, firms hope that with quality training, more Singaporeans will also be drawn to the role. This instead of relying on foreign manpower that may not be sustainable.
And to share more on how we can level up caregivers as well as the assisted living options currently available in Singapore, I'm joined by Dr. Belinda Wee, Director and Co-founder of the Assisted Living Facilities Association of Singapore. Dr. Wee, you talked about the caregivers coming from a different culture and the need for them to learn to navigate the senior landscape in Singapore. So how can firms and, assisted living facilities, how can they help facilitate these caregivers and train them better to allow them to integrate better into, Singapore's senior landscape?
Yeah, I think actually the training should actually start in their home country. I think by the time they come here, it's a little bit too late. And I feel that the language is a very big problem, and the cultural norms, Singapore being a fast-paced country, like cleanliness, when you say yes, you really mean yes, because we find that many of the caregivers actually lack this confidence, and they don't even say hello to you because in their country maybe it's rude to actually speak to your employer, and some of our caregivers tend to overhelp. And as you know, in an assisted living, we're actually trying to let the seniors, preserve their functions. So it's very important for them to help at a distance. That's why it's called assisted living, so that the seniors can actually benefit from having this sense of purpose. So I think besides all these courses that we're having, I think on-the-job training is very important. And we're actually looking at partnering, firms who can actually also deliver besides the lectures. I think we need to, for example, maid agencies can actually partner with us to know what's required so that the type of training that these caregivers receive is better and is more suited to assisted living. But for us now, currently, we actually use the staff who are actually suited to come to the nursing home. So they have had some training already in their country.
When you say suited to come to the training home, what do you mean by suited, and what kind of training do they actually have, and what are some of the training that perhaps, they still need to have? Yeah.
So I think language, I keep stressing, because if the seniors already in the throes of, having dementia, delusions of paranoia, if they can't make themselves understood, it's really, really very frustrating. And for the caregivers as well, if they don't know what the seniors are saying, so you're putting two vulnerable groups together, which is catastrophic. So I think we need to realize this difference, but at the same time, I think, like I said, if we could start the training in their home country, we're working with some providers. Sister Grace is an IJ nun. She set up an English center in Myanmar, so we are working with her to actually help us to teach the staff the skills that we require, even some terms in Chinese, and what our seniors expect. Because the grandma here is not like the grandma they have in their home country. And what's more, if this grandma has got delusions of paranoia, so how do they actually react when the charge keeps saying, you stole my things, you didn't feed me. Right. So these are very, very important issues which we really need to address before we actually scale up.
Right, but what about local caregivers? How can we attract Singaporeans then, to take up such caregiving jobs? Is it because the salary is not attractive enough? Is it because the hours are not attractive enough?
I think the salary is not really a problem, because for the amount of levy we pay and, having to house them and feed and give them the meals, it costs about 3,000 per worker. And I think for locals, this salary is reasonable.
But we don't see enough of them coming up and stepping up to the plate. Why is that the case?
There's not enough knowledge about what assisted living entails. I mean, just to share a bit, in the US, the Greenhouse Project, the care leads are known as shabazims. And shabaz is a Persian term for the Sultan's falcon. Falcon has a bird's eye view of things. And I think Singaporeans do have that, It's just that, you must give them due recognition, career progression, and tell them that this job is like how you manage your household, except there are more seniors around. But I think we should also move away from, say, a maid culture and be more hands-on, so that, this is actually a very viable career option for Singaporeans.
Right. And so the skills that they'll be learning, not just, on how to deal with patients, but they're also learning, life skills on wound management as well. We're talking about it.
Okay, I'm a little bit wary about that, because in this sandbox, we have been MOH has made it very clear that certain jobs are not meant to be done by the caregivers, like medication management, diabetic care, and injections. subcutaneous injections is a big no-no. So for us, we come from the nursing home background, so we're very clear what the caregivers can do and what they can't. So for the jobs that the caregivers are not supposed to do, then we actually get because we run a nursing home, so the nurses and the doctors from the nursing home actually deliver this service to the seniors.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming in, speaking to us and shedding light on this situation. I'm Dr. Belinda Wee, the Director and Co-founder of the Assisted Living Facilities Association of Singapore.